Good morning, Quirky Birders. It's Lynn here, and time for your ballerina paint along. So you've all seen the line drawing that's been posted up onto social media, so you're able to find that on my Facebook page. And you need to complete the drawing in readiness for you to start your painting. Now we're just using 3 colours for this painting of this ballerina today. We're using the colour orange, pink, and we're also using the colour brown. Now we shall be mixing the orange with a little bit of white because that's going to provide us with the lovely skin tone of our dancer. So I've got a little bit of orange already here in my palette, and to that I'm just going to add a little bit of white just to get that really nice skin tone colour. And you can see that that's coming together really quite nicely in the palette. So as soon as you've got a colour that you are happy with and you are ready, we can then start to apply that colour to our painting. And we'll start by just dropping in that paint along the arm. And what we're wanting to do is we're just kind of wanting to flood that space so we don't get any nasty lines where the paint has actually dried. So we'll come around the face. And down the neck. We can also do the same on the other hand. Do the thumb. And do remember when you're working with this skin tone that the colour will actually dry lighter than the mix that you've just made. So do make some allowances for that. So once you're happy and you've got a nice even finish to the arms, back and face, you can then work on the legs. So we'll come all the way down in the leg. So come all the way down into the foot. We'll do the other one as well. Now if you're unhappy and you've got a little bit that's a little bit darker like I have, just wet your brush and then you can lift away that darker colour. There we go. Okay, so while the skin tone colour is actually drying, what we can do is we can mix a little bit of colour for the tutu. And for the tutu, I'm going to use a nice pink. And it's very, very easy to mix. You can mix a little bit of red and a little bit of white together to give you that really nice sort of candy floss type pink. And this is going to be the underpainting. So we're going to build up the detail on the tutu. But we'll just start with a nice pale sort of candy floss pink to begin with. Now I'm going to work on the bodice, but I do need to be careful because we've just painted that flesh tone. And what I don't want to happen is I don't want the pink and that flesh tone to mix. So just make sure you keep a little line of separation between those two colours. And work on the bodice and just work down to the waist. And then once you're at the point of the waist, you can then start to add in the detail to the skirt. So again, just working with the pale pink. And then just push that colour down from the waist. And we'll come along that sort of top hem. And just wet your brush to get the paint going again. And just spend a few moments just getting that really nice even finish. Take any of that paint up to give you the waist, so you can push it up to that waist, and that will help you with the texture of the tutu. And just gives you that natural waistline there. Now, whilst that's drying, we'll come back to that in just a little while. Whilst that's drying, we can work on our dancer's hair. Now for this, you need to change to a size 1 brush. And I'm just going to use the colour brown. So using your size 1, you can then start just to work along that hairline and just taking the lines of hair and strands of hair up to the bun. You could introduce a second colour, you could introduce a slightly different colour brown. So we'll go with a more chestnut type colour. Whoops. We'll go back to that darker brown again now. You can introduce some shorter strands, but don't overwork it. Just allow the white of the paper to show through. We'll do the bun. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do, now we've just done the hair, is we're going to just pop in the shoes, and I'm still going to work with that smaller brush. And I'm going to work with my size 1, and I'm going to go back with my pink, but I'm just going to add the tiniest amount of red to it just to make it a shade darker. I still want that lovely pink colour, but it's just nice to have it a little bit darker. And what we'll do now is we'll just do the shoes. So for the shoes, you're going to come in around the heel, and then we'll pop in the point of the ballet shoe. So you can paint all of that area then with that pink. and just put a little cross across the front of the toe. We'll do the same on here. So come down, pop the point in, and again pop that little cross in. Now you can also add in the ribbons. So to do your ribbons, you're going to be working in the thinner part of the leg, and we'll just take a line across that leg and one slightly above it, and then just crisscross them. Now we can start to pop some detail in to the tutu, but please do be careful when you're working on the tutu, because the ballet shoes are currently wet, and I'd hate for you to be sort of working along that hemline and then smudge the shoes. So still working with your size 1 brush, taking in the darker pink. What you're going to do is you're going to just follow this hemline and just literally just scribble your way along that hemline. Allow the white of the paper to be on show, so keep it nice and open. And we'll do the same with the bottom hem. Now you can then use that darker pink to put in a little bit of form and shape to the tutu. So by doing very, very simple lines, you're just going to add to the volume of that tutu. So we'll come down this other side here. So just do different shapes. And then with that darker colour, let's put a darker shade over the top of the bodice. You can also add in the straps. And pop both those straps in. And then we'll come back to the ruffles in the skirt. So just continue to add in those ruffles. We'll come over the top of the legs. Keep it nice and open, don't overwork it. Now we are going to keep this side clear, so that's just going to be the white underneath of the tutu. can take a couple of lines just up from the base there, just to add to the volume of the tutu. And then we'll also, just along the bodice here, let's just drop in a couple of little jewels along the edge of the bodice there. Okay, so that now just needs to dry, and then we will be back again in just a little while to finish off the ink details. Okay, so our dancer has now dried, and we can now start to work with the ink details. So I've got 2 pens here. I'm going to use a 0.4 and also a 0.1. So I've got 2 different pens. And we'll start with the 0.4 first. So all we're going to do is just follow the pencil outline. So we can come all the way around the pencil outline. Come down the arm. And pop the hand in. You can add the details of the face, pop in the nose, shape for the lips, and then the neck. And then when it comes to the hair, don't put a solid line along here. All you need to do is work your way up from that hairline and just then add in the strands of hair. You can come down from the top of the bun. You can put a little bit of curl in there as well. And then let's do a nice shaped bun on the top of her head. We can add the little wisps of hair, and then just a little scoop for the ear. We'll pop the straps in and then come around then the bodice of the tutu over the bust and down to the waist. So what we'll do now is we'll add in the shape to the skirt. So just do those nice sweeping arcs to the tutu, and then along this top hem what you need to do is just literally just be quite sort of scribbly and jaggedy as you go all the way along the hem. The bit underneath we're not going to do in that same way. We're going to treat that a little bit differently, and we'll come back to that in just a moment, but we'll carry on with our 0.4 pen, and we'll come right the way down the legs, and we'll add in the points of the shoes up through the calf, and then the same on the other side. We can then put the shoe details in, so we can come around the heel and pop that little crossbar in, and we'll do the same on this one. And then we can do the ribbons, but do a couple of little tram lines to begin with first. and then we can pop in a diagonal ribbon and then just break it up the other side so they look as though they're wrapped over one another. Now that's it for the 0.4 pen. We can then change to something a little bit finer, so it's the 0.1 that we're going to be working with next. And what we're going to do is we're going to work on the ruffles of the tutu. So all you're going to do is, like you've just painted it, just literally just scribble your way along that hemline. Come all the way along and just scribble away. And you're going to do exactly the same along the bottom. So just scribble that bottom end. Now all of this side is going to be full, so we'll carry on with another layer of scribble coming up over the legs. There we go. And then we need to add some detail to the skirt, so we can work from that waistband where we've put the extra bit of over painting, and what we can do is we can then just pull the line down like so, and then let's add a few more just to give that impression of that really full fabric. Move your painting around if you need to. And you can also take it up from the bottom as well. And we'll do the same along this side. Now where we put the little dots of the jewels, we can just add the circles, so we can come around the outside edge of those little dots of colour, and then you can pop some little dots around, just trailing down, and it'll just look as though it's got little sequins on that bodice. So just trail them down into the pop a few more on there. Like so. And then with regards to her face, she needs very little detail on her face, because you're only seeing a small proportion of it. So using the finer pen, just give her an eyebrow, just a hint of an eyebrow, and then you can also add some eyelashes. And that's it. That's all you need to do. You've got the suggestion of the mouth, so you don't need to put like a smiley mouth on there. That's it. That's all you need to do to finish off your dancer. And she's done. That's her finished. So have some fun with it. Enjoy the painting of it. It really is a lovely design to paint. And I'm sure you're going to have great fun also playing around with colours and designs of those tutus as well. So enjoy your painting, have some fun, and I shall see you all again very soon indeed. Goodbye.